All right, we are going back to some breaking news right now. You are looking live. That looks like Lewelyn Dixon, the lady we were telling you about, the 64-year-old who has been detained at the ICE Tacoma facility for 3 months after she was taken, after traveling out of the country and trying to come back into the country. And you see the emotional hugging, and we can confirm that this is Lewelyn Dixon there that we've been telling you about. She was just released, so we are assuming that all of those tears, those are family, friends, and many people, as you can see, dozens of people out there from the community who are out there waiting for her to be released because they heard ahead of time that this was going to happen sometime today or tomorrow. But again, it looks, and we can confirm right there in those live pictures, that this is happening. You can see that how happy and relieved she looks.
Absolutely. Hundreds of people are out there all week, and every week prior they have been protesting outside the Tacoma Detention Center, calling for her release, calling for everyone's release, but specifically her, as she has been in that facility since February after being arrested and detained by those federal immigration agents from Sea-Tac Airport. Again, that was February. You can see the smile on her face. Everyone is just cheering with joy, clapping, applauding her as she finally gets to see the light of day, the fresh air on her face, reuniting with her family, her friends, people who really love her and support her and want to see her succeed and see justice.
So I want to give you some of the backstory here if you're just joining us. This is a lawful permanent resident of the United States. She's lived here for about 50 years. She went to the Philippines to go visit, and she was on her way back, and she was detained at Sea-Tac International Airport by, ICE. And one of the holdups here, because we've been following this case throughout the weeks, one of the reasons that they gave us on why she was detained was an embezzlement conviction from 2001. Because of that history, they said that they detained her, but obviously you had family and friends who were saying that that was just not fair, and that she should not have been detained in the first place, that she was a lawful permanent resident, that she was an outstanding resident of the United States, she was a lab tech at UW, and so that there was no reason for her to be detained, and so they were fighting for her release. It took some time, again 3 months in that facility for somebody who obviously not used to that, so it must have been a shock to her system. But she was able to communicate with family and friends who then would relay information to the media, and that's how we were able to get a hold of this story and to keep you updated there in the public. And also, we mentioned that she is a lab tech at the University of Washington, and they have come out, I believe, and Frankie, correct me if I'm wrong because you've covered this case as well, but they've come out and said, hey, we are waiting for her release, we're going to hold her job for her, and I believe that that's something that the community, that was their way of showing support for her.
Absolutely. We know that Lewelyn has been a model citizen. She has worked very hard in her community, very hard at UW, and has been a great lab tech all of these years. She loves her job. We've spoken to her family in previous news coverage. They say that she is just a ray of sunshine in her community, in her family, and you can see that as so many people are there right now. They have been anticipating this release since February, but of course we can see now just the joy on their face as they are working to get her home safely, finally, after all of these months, so she can just enjoy her time home, take in that moment so she can really just be a citizen again, just a rightful citizen as she has been these past 5 decades.
Yeah, there's a lot of cameras there around her, cell phones, capturing this moment as we are looking at them right now. And people that are standing close to her, I'm assuming that's family and friends, people that they know. But then, beyond those cars there are people just from the community that don't know her on a personal level. That they don't know her on a personal level, but they're still there, because they want to show their support. We've had reporter AJ Janival on this case all day, and he's the reason why we knew that she was going to be released at this time, and his cameraman there and AJ out there. So AJ, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear us? And can you tell us kind of lay out what you're seeing out there?
Walkway. So
I can. What I'm going to do
bus loads
is
over there.
we're actually hearing from
at the entrance right there.
So I'm just going to let her respond
And
because
I
we've
know that
wanted to hear from her for months.
they're being processed right now. There's a lot of them in there. From what I heard last, they have 1,300 is full capacity. My unit, we have at least 100 women in the thing.
What's next for you?
Next for me, I'm going to
Her
enjoy
next
time.
thing is to enjoy her time with her family. Yes. So we were respectful.
Citizenship.
So, yeah.
Next step is
You could
citizenship.
hear
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Lewelyn Dixon. She has been in custody for 3 months. You may be able to see her walking down the sidewalk. She is joined by her family. These are folks from across the country who are here. She does have family in Western Washington, but some of these people are from as far out as Hawaii who are visiting. Now you're looking at the reception. These are the folks who have been waiting for this moment 4 months. They've been fighting for this moment 4 months. And the way this kind of unfolded is we were sitting at the entrance of the detention facility here in Tacoma, and we saw family just start beelining to where the celebration was earlier. And what I heard was from Lonnie, who is Lewelyn Dixon's niece, who was on that trip to the Philippines when Dixon was detained back in the airport here at Tacoma International. And she ran by me and she said, they're releasing my aunt. They're releasing my aunt, and we just ran after them. We have been talking with family. We've been talking with friends throughout the day. You heard from Dixon herself briefly. She was talking to the crowd, and it was just about how excited she is to be out. There were some jokes. Someone asked her where she's going to go now, and there was that famous "I'm going to Disneyland" joke. But I think this family has been dealing with so much. Even though their smiles and even though they have been very open about this process, about everything that's gone into it, I think you could see at the end that they're happy that their aunt, their Auntie Lynn is out, and I think that they want to really take the time to be together. So it's such an interesting thing where you look and you see these hundreds of people who are here. This is a fight they've all been a part of, and then you see this family who's been alongside with them, and then you heard it from the family themselves as they are working to go get her some food. That was the number one thing that I was told, is they're excited to go celebrate, they're excited to eat, they're excited to be a family together once again. But one thing that extends past this victory for all of these people that you're seeing is they know that there are still people inside, there are still people like Lewelyn Dixon who are dealing with similar, if not almost identical situations. And Dixon even mentioned that herself, saying, you know, there are more people inside who need help. So while this is a celebration for this community, they know that it's not over. Hannah, Frankie.
All right, AJ, thank you so much for giving us that update, and it was nice to see that in a live, shot there as we saw the emotions. She was hugging her family and friends out there. So Lewelyn Dixon, the 64-year-old who's been detained at ICE for about 3 months after visiting the Philippines and trying to come back into the U.S. Again, she was detained. The attorney saying it was because of a 2001 conviction. They believe that was the reason why ICE was able to flag her and keep her there, but a judge recently ruled that she needed to be released.
Absolutely, and we just saw her family beaming with joy as they are so excited to finally bring her home, get some food, get some rest in her own home. We are going to continue this coverage on air and online. Of course, we'll bring you the updates of that joyous moment and beyond right here on air on Fox 13 News and fox13seattle.com. We'll be right back.